Hi, everybody. My name is Paula Thompson. The topic I chose to do my research on was nursing mentor programs. The reason I chose this topic was because I felt it was really relatable for myself. Although I know I have quite some time before I graduate, I still know it's getting closer, and it just makes me a little apprehensive how I'm going to handle the transition from nursing student to actual practicing nurse. What I expected to learn from my research was just the overall benefits of these programs and how they are helping with newly graduates get through that transitional phase. And I just really wanted to see like the perspectives of the newly grad nurses as well as the actual nurses who are being the mentors themselves and seeing what both sides thought was beneficial. The first article that I chose to use was an article that did an overall analysis of the research that's already been done on programs such as these. It just really looked into many different aspects of what works well and what doesn't work well. The overall message that I got from this information was that these programs are very beneficial, and they're not just beneficial for the newly graduated nurses, but the facilities themselves. These programs are showing an increased retention rate as well as a decreased turnover rate, um, because these nurses are having such an easier transition from student to nurse that they're ending up staying at these facilities and they're not leaving. So the facilities themselves are saving money because they're not having to continuously go through the hiring process because they're having to replace staff. Um, I felt that the article had good information. I just felt it was a little difficult to follow because there's just so many different things that it talks about. I just felt like it wasn't very consistent, and even throughout the article itself, it just said the research is just very inconsistent. So, good information, just hard to read. The second article that I chose to use was an article about research that was done to see how the mentor's role affects newly graduated nurses and that transitional period. Um, the students felt that their relationship with their mentor had a major role in the kind of experience they had while adjusting. They felt it could make or break that experience. If they had a really good and supportive nurse, it was a lot smoother than a nurse who maybe wasn't very supportive, and it made it a lot harder on them. Um, it also talked about how mentors were having to balance that role of being a good guidance person for these students, but still allowing them to have that independence so they assume more responsibilities as an actual nurse. The students felt that when their mentors shared their personal experiences with them, it made them a lot more relatable and made that connection stronger because they could understand where both were coming from. Um, and the two most important qualities that the students felt that their mentors had was encouragement and support because it made that experience a lot better. It made that transition easier, and it built their confidence overall. Um, I felt that this article was really well written. It flows very well, and it stayed very focused on what the topic was itself. Um, it didn't refer to a lot of other works and research that have been done, and it was very, very focused. The third article that I chose to use was an article about a group mentor program that was tested on a group of nursing students in their last year of school. Um, they filled out a survey before the program started, and then up to 6 students were assigned to a mentor, and they would meet 3 times throughout that final year. They met twice before graduation and once after graduation. Um, the overall results of this article was that both the mentors and the mentees found the program to be very beneficial. The students felt that that program made that transitional phase just a lot easier. It reduced their stress levels, it increased their confidence, and they gained new skills and knowledge from it. The mentors felt that the program gave them an opportunity to really talk about their own personal experiences they had during their transitional phases. And they were also able to reflect on how they're practicing nursing themselves. And they really felt that it gave them a better understanding of new nurses, and it made them a little more sensitive to how to treat them when they do have to work with new graduated nurses. Um, Overall, I really liked this article. I just felt that it really showed both perspectives, not just for the benefit of the students, but for the mentors themselves, because although these programs are really to help those students, they still are benefiting the already practicing nurses. Um, so the healthcare professional that I interviewed was Katie Doty, who is one of the undergraduate nursing professors here at Methodist. I just asked her like how she felt about programs like this. Did she think they were beneficial? Had she ever really personally experienced one of these programs? And she just felt overall that she really feels that these are programs that should really be implemented in medical facilities like hospitals, because they are really helping these new nurses become very competent and having a really good understanding of what they're doing as a nurse. She felt that it makes that transition just less stressful, and it makes that easing into the actual nursing role a lot better. Um, she used to work at Children's and they did not have a mentor program while she was there, but now currently they do have a program, she told me, and it is a one-to-one program, which she thinks is more beneficial because it's very focused on just that one student and that one mentor, instead of having to overstress the mentor with multiple people, or like the students themselves not getting as much personal focus for them. Overall, I just feel like this is a really important topic to talk about, because more and more people are going into the nursing field, and if we can make that transition over to from the student to the nurse easier, I feel like we won't have such a shortage that we're having when it comes to nurses in the workforce. Um, I feel like they need to continue researching on what are the best ways to run these programs. Are there certain facilities maybe wouldn't benefit as much as other facilities that might? Should they maybe do programs that are specialized to certain areas, just like we have specialties now? Um, I just feel like there's a lot of different directions that this research can go, but overall, I just really hope they continue to see how beneficial these programs really can be for newly graduated students. Thank you.